All right. Hello, fellow ramblers, and welcome to the Ramblestream, episode 38, with me, your host, Richard Worsham, founder and designer here at Janus Motorcycles, and I'm here at Janus HQ in Goshen, Indiana, sipping on some cold water, but we'll get back to something a little stronger soon here, about 2 weeks. Good to see you all on the stream. Lots of comments already. We got a good fun program for you tonight. No guests this time, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on how that went. That was so much fun last week with the Felix brothers. I had a lot of fun, and I hope to continue to do that on a regular basis. As always, let me know if you can or can't hear me, and we'll go from there. Let's take a little look at some questions here. Do this properly. We got Dan Rademski was on early. Wow, a little early. 6:09. Quite a bit early. Good to see you, Dan, as always. We got Martin Drew. Says, were you not online? You might have missed Chris Chandler's Blessing of the Temple Gravel, Dan. Scott Spence from Elkhart with 250-212 and 450-178. Elkhart, Indiana, right up the road from us here in Goshen. He's sipping on some cheap red wine. Very nice. And we've got, and this made me laugh, we got Bob Benstead, KC0MWK. It seems like now everyone's putting up their ham radio call sign, so I went ahead and put mine up there, KD9PGT. I don't get on very often anymore, but I should. He says he's in South Dakota, Sturgis, South Dakota, 450 number 230, drinking a Miller High Life. We got Jeff Massey, Halcyon 250 number 850, The Villages in Florida, 30 amp, I'm guessing, blonde ale. Oh, that's me. Tom Kimball, Lord, I was born a ramblin' man. There we go. Gatorade to rehydrate while sitting on the back of my Halcyon 450-192. Nice! In the garage on a warm spring evening in the high country of Colorado. Fantastic. Multifarious, an old hand here on the Ramblestream. Halcyon 250 number, but a recent Janus owner. Halcyon 250 number 1067. Fremont, Nebraska, is that what that is? NE, yeah, cold water. Yeah, me too. We have Brent Bryan on. Hello from Northwest Ohio, picking up Griffin 250 number 145 on Friday, drinking a Great Lakes Edmund Fitzgerald Porter. Well, Brent, I've got good news. We've got your bike will be ready for you, and we have some pictures that I'll share. I almost forgot to, because it's been on the build list so long. I was putting together the bikes that we completed this week, and I forgot that. And then just a minute ago, I was like, oh yeah, it's a beautiful bike, and so we'll include pictures of your bike as well. Jim Winters dialing in from the Indiana Dunes, enjoying a Rise of the Angels from 18th Street Brewery after a ramble to Michigan on Phoenix, number 78. Very nice. Dehin says, I'll be making a fruit smoothie soon. Took 450-235 out for a ride on this beautiful spring day. I'll be taking her on to a bike show on Saturday in nearby Hendersonville. Oh, very nice. Best of luck at the show. Brent Bryan chimes in with his call sign. Expired. Perhaps I should renew this hobby? Oh, Gary's on. Good to see you, Gary. And all my best wishes to you. He's dialing in from East Lansing, Michigan. Halcyon 250 number 79, Halcyon 450 number 3, Phoenix 250 number 79, sipping on a Coke Zero sugar. Good to see you, Gary. Tom, Burlington, Wisconsin, Griffin 250 number 149, Halcyon 250 number 1108. We haven't gotten that far. That's coming down the road pike. That's a high number. David Husky, 250, number 138. Having a martini here in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I hope I pronounced that one right. Charles McGagan, hello from the Eastern Shore. 250, 454. Phoenix 250, number 30. And Griffin 450, number 4. Fantastic. Good to see you, Charles. We got Tom Kimball, 450, number 192. Rehydrating with a Gatorade in 75-degree Colorado. Nice. David Dixon, sunny evening, joining you from the bank of the Branch River, Franklin Township, Wisconsin. Halcyon 450, 266. Man, it is good to see everybody on here. Enrique Contreras is dialing in from Houston, and he's on Facebook. Good to see you, my friend. Do you ride? Tell us what you ride if you do. Tom Kimball, shiny new mic. Well done. Well, this is the same old mic, but you can just see it better. I'm trying to position it better. Maybe at some point I'll get a better mic, but when it's working properly, it functions all right. Jim Bledsoe, planning a ramble in the winding hills of southeast Ohio near the Ohio River this weekend, coming up on Halcyon 450, number 163. You need some twists and hills, Richard. Well, as you will hear tonight, I'm going to be getting my fill of twists and hills very, very soon, next week actually. I'll tell you all a little bit about that in a bit. Jeremy Orvik, hi all from California, 450, number 214. Nice. Michael Webster, hello from Michigan. Steve Rice, 969, checking in. Looking forward to tonight's stream after missing last week. Oh, good to have you on again. Scott, thank you very much. Sound is great. Russell Peters, Detlef, 450, number 86, sitting in Kalamazoo, Michigan, working here, live in Owensboro, Kentucky. Water, of course. Keith Haywood, 706 in New York, white wine tonight. Nice. Boy, we got tons of comments. Kelly Chrisman, hey Ramblers, Halcyon 450, number 236, sipping on some Crown Royal in Virginia. Nicholas G, Southeastern Connecticut here. Good to see you, Nicholas. Willard Small, 805 in Maple Shade with a Manhattan. Very nice. Very nice. Carrie Snedden just arrived. Halcyon 450, number 195, and 250, number 1043. Straight black coffee tonight. Well, nothing much has happened so far, so you haven't missed out on much, Carrie. Arthur Nordby, hi from North Carolina. Arthur, Halcyon 1093, coffee on hand. Roger, Halcyon 250, number 1018, Sturgis Road, sipping on a red bridge. Kyle Stevenson, Fort Wayne, Honda CB400F, Super Sport, and drinking a new Belgium Juice Force. Nice. Good to see you, Kyle. Tom Lathrop, 1008. Nice. James Chadburn, Halcyon 250, number 644. We got some lower numbers here, somewhere north of Boston. Just a tall, cool ice water tonight as I'm on call for work. Just pumped up the tires yesterday. The salt is finally gone. Well, congratulations to you, sir. Sounds like fun. Grant Longabaugh's on. Good to see you, Grant. Our fearless man of all tasks here at Janus. Steve says, just want to be sure that you know how helpful your staff is, specifically Danielle, who helped me with the custom leatherwork for the crate. You have really built a culture of yes and service in Janus. Well, thank you very much, Steve. It was actually really fun to work with you on your project. Steve had a interesting crate with it, and he needed a leather cover made, and so we had Mark, our Amish saddle maker, build that for him to his specifications. So it worked out really well. We're all really excited. You need to send us pictures of it installed on your bike, Steve. And thanks for the kind words. That's really good to hear. Jeremy says, Danielle is great. Quail Motorcycle Show out here soon. I know we almost thought about trying to make it, but not this year. Chris Smith, Halcyon 367, drinking a Cabernet Sauvignon. Good to see you, Chris. Jeremy Orvik, a bunch of alcoholics on this thread. Well, honestly, I've seen some water, and not once in another week or two, I'll get back on the alcoholic train. Arthur Nordby says that should be 1039. Whoops. Okay. Dan says the crate is gorgeous. Fantastic. And Steve says he did send some to Danielle via email. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I haven't seen him yet. Kelly Chrisman, define alcoholics. Yeah, seriously. All right. Oh, Tom says the crate is on Facebook and looks fantastic. Well, you all are far ahead of me. I don't really make it to Facebook. Although, if you are dialing in from Facebook, I can see your comments in my new software here. So Enrique is the only person so far. Oh, and Charles is on Facebook too. Only comments coming in from Facebook so far. So if you're on Facebook and you're watching, comment and I can see your comment. I may not see your post because I try not to get on Facebook more than I can absolutely help. I do list things on Facebook Marketplace and buy things on Facebook Marketplace. That's the one redeeming quality of Facebook. Michael Webster says just coffee. Okay, well, let's go ahead and read our poem. Somehow this evening I was fully prepared. I was here way early, and then I completely forgot to select a poem. But I did, don't worry. It was a quick selection. It's one I've been thinking about for a while, and it's all I have to do is open Richard Wilbur and find something I like. But as a way of introduction to the poem, kind of tangential, but if y'all haven't seen yet, I've been talking about doing some more kind of vlog style, whatever, I don't even know what vlog, video logging, vlogging, moto vlogging with our bikes to kind of share the rambling philosophy that we have. And so last week, it was Friday or Saturday, we published the first one. It was called A Ramble Up to Purgatory or something like that. Purgatory is a area in southern Michigan that has some wonderful, wonderful riding, some of my favorite riding up there. And something that I didn't catch on the video is as I pulled into the spot where I made coffee in the video, there was a dump truck working on the road down the way, and while I was kind of unpacking and everything, the truck kind of drove by, and then I heard it stop, and then beep beep, reversed back, and the guy hops out and he goes, "What kind of motorcycle is that?" It's a classic Janus moment. And so I spent quite a while talking with Paul, is his name, really interesting fella. He was doing some road maintenance on the gravel road. He said, "I'm tearing up the road." But he was an old motorcycle rider, used to drag race, and thought it was really neat. But he suggested that area was, if I had cared to look around, there was probably plenty of mushrooms up there. And right now, around this area, everybody is mushroom hunting, which I think is probably a pretty amazing rambling activity if you think about it. A lot of people do it as a family. A lot of the Amish are really into mushroom hunting, and so I'm looking for more L's. So anyway, on the topic of mushrooms, here's our poem again from my dear, my favorite Richard Wilbur, New and Collected Poems. This one is called, this is a famous one. This is a really famous Wilbur poem. This one's called Children of Darkness. If groves are choirs and sanctuaried fanes, what have we here? An elm bole cocks a bloody ear. In the oak's shadow lies a strew of brains. Wherever, after the deep rains, the woodlands are morose and reek of punk, these gobbets grow, tongue, lobe, hand, hoof, or butchered toe amassing on the fallen branch, half sunk in leaf mold or the riddled trunk. Such violence done, it comes as no surprise to notice next how some, parodically sexed, puff, blush, or gape, while shameless phalloi rise, to whose slim heads some carrion flies. Their gift is not for life. These creatures who disdain to root will bear no stem or fruit, or leaf, no fruit, and mimicking the forms which they eschew, make it their pleasure to undo all that has heart and fiber. Yet, of course, what these break down wells up refreshed in branch and crown. May we not, after all, forget that Norse drivel of Wotan's panicked horse, and every rumor bred of forest fear? Are these the brood of adders? Are they devil's food, minced witches, or the seed of rutting deer? Nowhere does water stand so clear as in the stalked cups where pine has come to grief. The chanterelle and sep are not the fare of hell, where coral schools the beech and aspen leaf to seethe like fishes of a reef. Light strikes into a gloom in which are found red disc, gray mist, gold auburn furfoot, amethyst, food for the eye, whose pleasant stinks abound, and dead men's fingers break the ground. Gargoyles is what they are at worst, and should they preen themselves on being demons, ghouls, or elves, the holy chiaroscuro of the wood still would embrace them. They are good. Children of Darkness. Great poem about mushrooms. Okay, got a couple more comments here. Gary Smith says, Ramble to Purgatory was a great video. Glad to hear you're going to make more of them. Yes, I'm very excited to be making more of these rambling vlog style videos. That one really was an experiment. And there were a lot of things that I would have done differently, and a lot of things that probably in production will change. As you could probably tell in the video, there was another camera facing me, and we decided not to use all the different cameras for a variety of reasons, but we will be. And so in that video, I was using one camera, a chest-mounted GoPro, and then we also have one that faces up toward me. If you've seen the video on the kind of teaser on the Halcyon or the Griffin 450 where I ditched the 450 in a creek, that was the handlebar mounted camera, which I think is a really nice kind of angle. It gives you kind of an idea, an interesting perspective on the ride. And then we also have something called an Insta360, which is a really interesting camera. It's a little stick, and it has two fisheye lenses, one on each side. And it has the software inside it that it will piece together a 360-degree view around it. And so you in the editing process, you can pick where you want it to be angled, and you can put it. So I have been experimenting with putting that down low, like you can catch the shifter, you can catch the front wheel. There were some shots from that camera as well in that Griffin 450 video with me, and so you can put it behind you, so you get like the video game look. So anyway, we're experimenting with it, and I'm playing around with the different format and how we want to. The idea is to tell a story, and for it not just to be riding, the kind of classic over the handlebars, which is neat, but it can get boring. So, and I'll talk a little bit more here on the next ramble I'm taking. Is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to be vlogging the entire thing. So I'm excited about that. Jeremy Orvik says, define mushrooms. That comes after define alcoholics. Safe Passage Youth Foundation says, Tim Hagel, Halcyon, that's your handle. Tim Hagel, Halcyon 418, Los Angeles, California. Just jumping in. Thanks for this amazing episode. Well, thank you, Tim, and welcome to the Ramblestream. Halcyon 418, that's a low number. Good to have you on. I don't recognize the name. On the stream, that is. Jim Bledsoe, I think Lawrence of Arabia wrote some motorcycle-specific poetry. Oh, we could try some Lawrence of Arabia poetry. That'd be fun. Carl Mann, good to see you, Carl. Paul Ramon, 2020 JM 542 Halcyon 2. And Halcyon 252. 77 miles. New to me last month. Best thrill in 50 years. He had a 74 Honda XR75. Nice. Carl Mann says you should get a 360 camera. Yes. That's what I was just. Yeah. He gives me a thumbs up. Yep. So the 360 camera is kind of like the extra bit, and I can move that around to different positions on the bike, depending on where I think it'll look good. And a lot of this is going to be experimentation. I'm not, as you all know, I'm not extremely technologically savvy. So it's going to be an exercise in seeing if the stuff will work for me and if I can manipulate it. But so far, I've been able to get it to work at least. And on the ramble last week, the Purgatory ride up into Michigan, I was actually able to get the audio while I was riding to record, which I felt very proud of. Dan says he's looking forward to more vlogs. Eric Green, good to see you. Outlaw here, good to see everyone. Eric, I saw a photograph of your motorcycle. Somebody, maybe Hannah showed it to me. I can't even see the motorcycle anymore. Eric, if you don't know, has a pretty incredible Halcyon 250 that with just completely decked out with all manner of steampunk and otherwise accoutrement, shall we say. Jeff Massey, Jeremy, nice judgment. Like Ernest Hemingway said famously, I drink to make people more interesting. Nice. All right. Great. Good to see everybody. Oh, and I see a couple more Facebook comments on here that are coming through. So, yeah, awesome. Okay, well, let's go on and move to the part of this where we look at bikes that we built this week. And it's going to take me a second here to set this up. So bear with me as I do so. We're going to do this one. There we go. All right. Okay, so we have here builds of the week. This week, let's get rid of this comment here. This week, we have built a lot of bikes, and I'm still figuring out how to get the photographs and line them all up. So these are a little out of order, but bear with me. This is Halcyon 450. We have a whole gaggle of cream, which does my heart good. I love the cream and gold and cream and other colors, but our nice cream color. Whole gaggle here. This is Halcyon 450 number 267, belonging to another Richard. It's in cream primary color with gold and copper primary and secondary pinstripe. So double pinstripe, copper feather logo. Obviously the medallion has not been installed yet on this bike. This is fresh off the stand. Lovely bike though. Ducktail fenders, saddle brown seat, and a polished stainless exhaust. And this is an interesting one. He has a black headlight bezel with cream headlight, what do they call it? Visor. Nice looking bike. Next up, we have another cream 450. This is, did I say? Yeah, here we go. This is belonging to Patrick, number 264, 450. This is in cream and gold. This is a very simple with a single pinstripe, ducktail fenders, and the brushed stainless exhaust. Another classic look here. Great looking bike. And this is an Origin. So this is an inventory bike. So this motorcycle does not have a name with it yet. Our inventory bikes, by the way, are going like wildfire. We sold 4 last week, I believe, 3 or 4, and we just listed another 6 inventory bikes. So these are, if you're not familiar, these are motorcycles that don't have a name on them. That we're just building that so that if someone wants to purchase a motorcycle without a lead time, it's kind of an alternate path to the fully customized, build it exactly as you want option. Of course, that comes with a little shorter lead time. You don't get to pick all the options, but it's a kind of a trade-off, both one or the other. So we've been selling them like hotcakes, which is great. This one does not have ducktails. This is a very simple, straightforward Origin. So one of our lower priced entry Origin line bikes in cream with gold pinstripe with the lovely outline Origin style feather logo and gold pinstripe, brushed exhaust, no saddlebags. Of course, not many of these photographs you're going to see have the saddlebags because they haven't been installed yet at this point. All right, next up is another inventory bike. This one is in Indy Racing Green with gold pinstripe. And this is an Origin, so you see that there's no fender pinstripe. Simple, straightforward, lovely color combination. This green is one of my favorites, especially with the saddle brown. Great looking bike. Available now on the website. Inventory. It's an Origin. And last, but well, it's actually not last because I've added some more builds on here. This is another Origin build. This is number 1058 going to Jerry. I think this was an inventory bike, but it has already been sold. Going to Jerry, vintage red with gold pinstripe. Lovely origin build. Brushed exhaust, saddle brown leather, and single pinstripe. Great looking build. Okay, so I added a couple more in here. This one is on the stand right now in the other room. This is the American Blue we offer. So obviously this is going to be a chassis, a frame matched color, but this is somebody got matte finish over it. What an it almost looks like a Williamsburg kind of colonial blue. Really neat. I'm excited to see this bike come together. It's been tricky. The matte on this was very tricky. I think some parts had to go back and get redone, but it's going to be a stunning bike. Just had to share that one. Okay, next up is Mr. Brent Bryan. Here you are, finally. Speaking of tricky, this bike has been I don't want to say challenging. It's just been we've been figuring out a lot with this, because what you see here is a brushed. So this is raw aluminum that's been brushed and then clear coated, which I think this is a matte clear coat. So we've never done this before. Obviously, these are not steel fenders. These are aluminum fenders that have been brushed to match the tank, the airbox, and the handguards. Stunning build with that lovely insignia on the airbox, saddle brown, the cargo rack with the saddle brown pannier, brush guard. I love the stainless steel with the aluminum. Really a neat looking build. And look at that number plate. That's all hand paint too. Kelly did that last week, wrapped that up. And so you can see the challenging part with this was really getting the grain on the aluminum. As I've been learning with watches, one of the hardest things to do is not, obviously making the movement of the watch, but also the case finishing. Getting the graining right that is one of the hardest things to source, is where do you get how do you do that? So getting this, no surprise that this has been so difficult for us to get under control. But we're really excited because we want to be able to offer this. Right now, it's very labor intensive. We're working on a process to make it less so. But for the time being, it's a labor intensive process. All hand painted. Look, check that out. That number plate is just so cool. With a black headlight bezel. Really neat. It's going to be a show bike right there. Ready for DGR. So there we go. Let's take a quick look at the comments again here. We got Perry from Fort Worth, Halcyon 250 number 884. Good to see you. Mark Stevens, I fear the man who drinks water and so remembers what the rest of us said last night. Ben Franklin. Straw Dog, good to see you. Hey, Halcyon 250 number 769, New Hampshire drinking a water tonight. My birthday today. Well, happy birthday. Congratulations. Many returns of the day to you. Jared Williard, 233. Nice. Perry says, hello, Richard. Perry from Fort Worth, Halcyon 884. Any chance y'all could do a video showing the detailing process for the bikes with recommended products? I want to get a really shined up for DGR. That is a great idea. You know what? That would be a great video to do for DGR, is how to shine up your. Make a note here. Yes, I like that idea. I'll work on trying to get that done. I'll show the comments. Sorry. Martin Drew, I've wondered if Janus colors are number coded. I'm seeing more and more custom helmet businesses, and so I wonder if I could shepherd different places' color identifiers to one another. Yes, you can and you can't. Colors are just tricky no matter what industry you're in. We use an RAL, so that's the powder coat system, RAL colors, and they don't necessarily correlate exactly with other systems. So Pantone, for instance, but we can work with you on that. So if you get a hold of us. We can do our best to match. The best thing is to get a hold of us and so that we can get a sample and match it. That's why there's a charge for color matching, is because we have to go through this process of figuring out if it actually works. And then once we know the color, then we can see if the powder works. If we have a color and you want to try and match a helmet to it, then the best thing would be to, compare the RAL with the color. Work with us. Give us a call, and we can help you do that. It's tricky. It is tricky. Jeremy says, congrats on all the sales. Yes, thank you very much. We're really excited. It's been a busy spring. So busy that I'm not getting all my work done. But we're working at it. We're scaling up. We've got a new hire, actually, which will be, we got a new bookkeeper, Monica, and we're working on getting another assembly hand in, and then another one after that as soon as we can to keep up with production. Paul says, hey from Indy, new to me, 2020 JM542, Halcyon 250, 77 miles, biggest, oh yeah, that's right. Good to, congratulations on that. Tom says, matches your shirt, nice blue. Yes, thank you. Cerulean blue, says Chris Smith. Yes. Yeah, it is kind of a cerulean. It's a little bit gray, which is kind of nice. Tom says, love the Air Force Insignia, nice looking bike. Yes, thank you, Doug. You'll like it more in person. Tom says define water. Okay. Chris has bought 2 more Honda Monkeys on Saturday. For your trip. Do you know if you're going to be taking a Halcyon, or are you going to do the Monkey cross country trip? Chris is planning on a ridiculous cross country trip on a small motorcycle. He's still deciding what he's going to ride. Eric says, number 1 in funds raised in Portland, Oregon, DGR at this time. Fantastic. Good for you, my friend. Very well done. That's fantastic. I will be making a little announcement about DGR soon in the stream. Dan says, speaking of DGR, will you be sending out the 450 pillion seats in time for DGR? That's a great question. I don't actually know. I hope so. I know that we have so much, like it's all coming together like as we speak, but I don't have that final bit of information. So give us a call. Carl Mann says, mine stays pretty shiny. Yes, Carl has a special treatment on his tank and fenders that does keep him very shiny. Martin Drew, thumbs up. Good to see you. Eric says, met with a guy running DGR in Portland this weekend at the One Moto Show. Very cool. I don't. Who is that out there? Ron is on. He says, where did you get the coffee maker you used on your ride? Yes, I can tell you. Actually, I just. Well, we're gonna get to that. It just left in a van for the West Coast for my upcoming ramble. It's called a Caflano, and let me pull it up here. It really works too. I got it. Man, it's been maybe 2 years now. Come on. Maybe I won't be able to find it now. There it is. It's called the Caflano. It's spelled Cafflano. Pour over on the go. And they make a variety of different products that are for like really making nice coffee on the go. And I actually didn't buy it for motorcycling. I bought it for here at my desk because I just wanted I was trying to save money and didn't want to go to the coffee shop as much as I was tending to do. And so I was just making my own. I got for Christmas a hot water, kettle here, electric kettle. And since then we've gotten a much nicer coffee machine here at the shop and I haven't been using it as much, but it's perfect for motorcycling. So Caflano, pretty cool little coffee pot. Maybe I'll, Cafflano. Look it up. Google it. Chris says, monkey ride only. Okay, so you're going to do take a monkey. That sounds awesome. Well, keep us posted. That sounds fantastic. All right, we're already at 7:35, and we got plenty more to cover. So we were talking about DGR, so let's just dig right into that. Right now we are, let's see if I can switch my, here we go. Janus Motorcycles official team has raised $1,932. So I need to get on the bullhorn and market this a little bit better. Our goal is $10,000. We raised over $10,000 last year. We have 17 folks who've donated to the team. So that's almost $2,000 with 17 riders. Well done, all of you all. Really excited about that. So if you do not know what DGR is, it's the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. Here, I'll pull it up for you. You can see the whole thing. There we go. Riding for Men's Health. So it's for men's mental health and prostate cancer research, mental health awareness. You get to dress up in your finest and ride in a city near you. There's a ride all over the world happening on May. What do we got? What is today? Sunday, May 19th, 2024. So really encourage. This is a fantastic event. We would really encourage you all to join, ride in your city. And even if you don't have a ride near you, or if you are part of a ride, you can still be part of the Janus Motorcycles team at this link. And the link for that is in the YouTube description. Or you can find it on our webpage. The blog has a whole post about it that tells you all about how to do it, what we're doing, where to join our team, and more information on it. So I really encourage you all to ride in it. It's so much fun. You get to dress up and ride your motorcycle with other people around the world for a good cause. And so we'll be posting a whole lot more about it as we get closer. We will be riding in the South Bend ride, which actually starts here at Janus and then heads out west towards South Bend and Granger. If you're in the area, please do join us. I know Brian is on here. Will be, and I know there will be other people that on the stream that will be joining us. If you're in another place, if you're in Australia, there's probably a ride in the big city near you. It's a great event. So there we have it for DGR. I also have been told by Grant to remind you all that we have free shipping right now. And that's free shipping on merchandise, motorcycle parts, and motorcycles. So along with some other awesome discounts right now. The Ramblers rebate, a lot of really cool stuff. But free shipping, it's a great time to take advantage of that here as you get your bike ready for the riding season. Speaking of getting ready for the riding season, the Duluth Pack event is in 2 weeks. May 3rd, the event will be going on from 2 to 4, I believe. It's in the afternoon in Duluth. We will be posting a whole lot more about it. It's on Facebook as well. I do not have the details right in front of me, but I know it's the 3rd, and it's going to be fun. There will be some nice giveaways for Janus owners if you're there. So they're going to have a spot roped off for you to park your bikes. It's a fun store. Duluth is great. If you're in the area, or if you want to make a nice road trip out of it, consider heading to Duluth in 2 weeks. It'll be a lot of fun. Sturgis, of course, I've said this before, but we're going to keep on ramping up for this. Sturgis is going to be a massive event for Janus Motorcycles. We're going to be launching new products. We're going to be racing our Griffin 450 flat track bike. It's going to be a huge event for us. So we're building up for that all season here. The dates for that are August 1st through 11th. I do know that the flat track event will be on the 11th, so the last day, but we will be there the whole time. There'll be industry events we're going to be participating in. We're working with the Buffalo Chip that puts it on. It's going to be a big deal. I have never been to Sturgis. If you haven't ever been to Sturgis, I think this year is a good year to go. So we're really excited about it. We'll be making a lot more fun announcements about that as we get closer. This next weekend, the 27th, is the Chuck Jones Center for Creativity charity auction, where we'll be auctioning off, among many other things, they will be auctioning off a Janus Halcyon 250 Roadrunner Edition. And I don't have pictures of that one yet. Well, I have a couple of pictures of it in the van because it just left. But that's going to be a great event. I forgot to put up a link to that. But we'll make some more announcements about that as we get closer. And of course, our ambassadors program, there's a link for it in the YouTube description. The basic idea behind that is that if you would like to be a representative for Janus in your area, you can sign up. There's a link again in the YouTube video description, and sign up. There's a little questionnaire, and what happens there is you can show someone your bike, get to know somebody, and if they purchase a motorcycle, you get $250 in store credit at Janus, or $500 off your next bike, and they get $500 off of their bike. And if you want to be an ambassador to yourself and get a second bike, you get both those $500, so $1,000 off of a new Janus motorcycle. So it's a pretty good deal. Get a hold of us if you're interested. We have a growing map of people across the country. And talked about the Purgatory Ramble. And then I wanted to just make a quick announcement about our service stand. I'm actually going to zoom out here, and I'll just pull up a picture of it here. I know a lot of you all are looking forward to the having a service stand for the 450, and we have been working very hard on getting that ready for you all. And here is the prototype. It works really well. I just tried it out on Friday. It ships more easily. It will actually break down for shipping. It supports the 450, and we're making it, it's not available yet, but we're going to make it with adaptable plates that will work with either a 450 or a 250 with a bolt-on part. It's really nice. TT will be, our own fabrication shop will be making it. They're already prepping that right now. So look for a post on pre-orders for those shortly. I know a lot of y'all are very patiently waiting on that. So there you have that. Okay. Next up, we're doing all right on time. Next, let's take a look at some comments here. Ron says, thank you. Jeff Massey says, my goggles are on the way. Now for a derby. He's talking about for the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. Nice. Dan says he's got his DGR sticker today. Nice. Arthur says, thanks to Perry 884 help, I joined the DGR riding in Binghamton, New York. Fantastic. Mark Stevens says he's another one of these water drinkers like me. Okay. I've been talking about this ramble I'm going on. Let's talk about where I'm headed. I am headed here. If you couldn't tell from the thumbnail for today's Ramblestream, I'm going to California. So I'm headed out to, first of all, go to the Chuck Jones, that auction, the charity auction, but then also Grant and I have appointment with a mentor of a marketing mentor. We're going to be on his podcast. We'll share more about that soon. It has everything to do with rambling. His name is Christopher Lockhead. He's a old marketing wizard, and he has figured out how to bridge the gap between the old era of analog marketing into the new era of digital marketing, which, if you don't know, here we are. We're talking over the YouTubes. Digital marketing is basically what allows Janus to do what we do. And so we're really excited to go and visit with him in person at his house and to be on his podcast. So that's something that Grant and I are both really excited about. Okay, but one event is in Los Angeles and the other one is in Santa Cruz. And we happened to be delivering a motorcycle, and so we decided to stick an extra 450 in the back of the van, and I'm going to be riding from Los Angeles up to the Bay Area to Santa Cruz over about 2 days, I think, 2 to 3 days, up the Pacific coast, and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to be vlogging the adventure, the ramble. So let's take a quick look at where I'll be going, and then I actually can pull up some a little bit of the route. So day one, I'm thinking of making it about halfway up. So let's just say from Malibu up to Morro Bay. And there's a couple of ways to go. We'll zoom in a little bit. There's a nice little route around Santa Barbara that goes up into the mountains that I'm kind of excited about. Let me actually pull that up. So this is, let me switch over here to a different, haven't figured out how to do this smoothly, but here we go. So we got Los Angeles down here in the lower right, and then San Francisco up in the upper left. And if we zoom in here, this would be kind of starting in Malibu. And the other thing we're doing is we're delivering a motorcycle to the Morgan dealership in Santa Monica. They're going to be our dealer for us. So if you're in the Los Angeles area, we will have a 450 on display at Morgan West. Morgan cars, Janus motorcycles, I think it's a really wonderful pairing. Dennis Glavis there at Morgan West has been a Janus fan for many years. I've actually already visited him. It's been years now from the first time we've been out there. I have a deep love of Morgan cars, and I think that the Janus motorcycles and Morgan cars, both handmade, are a nice pairing. So we're delivering that bike in Santa Monica, but then heading up. So starting in Malibu, we can, if I zoom in here, I've got a couple of, you know me and rambles, is you want to kind of keep it loose, but do a little research ahead of time. So this is a little, around South Beach, a little detour that might be kind of fun up into the mountains here. As you can see, the mountains there would be really a canyon carving, and then up through Oxnard, up the coast, up the one, and then here at Santa Barbara, there's another little side loop that I think would be really fun. Look at this road. Look at this. Right? Look at that road. So talking about curves and hills, this is where I'm potentially planning on being next Monday and Tuesday. This will be next Monday. This will be during the Ramblestream. I hope be up here in the mountains. So needless to say, there will not be a Ramblestream next week. Anyway, then heading a little bit further up the coast, we get up to, I have to take a little bit of a inland journey here, and we get to Morro Bay, where somewhere around here I'll be taking a break, and then next up, going to, let's open the next screen. This is where it gets exciting. I guess I could share the window and then it wouldn't be as hard. So Morro Bay. So this is Big Sur. Unfortunately, the one in this area, right where that number one is, right here, it's blocked by a mud landslide, and so you can't ride the whole length. And so I'm debating whether I want to go from Morro Bay up the coast and then turn around and then head over the mountains, or if I want to go up the coast, head over the mountains all the way up and then come down from the northern side. Because I think that's Big Sur up there on the northern side. And I'm kind of leaning toward that. But in the meantime, check out these roads. Look at this. Look at this ride. I'm just extremely excited for this. And the opportunities that are there for documenting riding on a Janus in this beautiful country. We love northern Indiana, but it's pretty flat and it's pretty straight. So you don't get this kind of riding like this. See, I'm actually originally from Southwest Virginia, where we don't necessarily have California-sized mountains, but we have mountains and twisty roads. And as much as I love the Midwest, it can be a little flat. So I'm really looking forward to this. Anyway, this ride will end up in Santa Cruz up here, where the ever willing Woody will be picking up the bike and heading back, and it's going to be a really fun trip. So I'm extremely excited about this. Let's see. I wanted to show you the bike that I'm taking. Let me switch back over. Maybe can I share screen instead of sharing this? Share. Hold on. Share window. There we go. That way I don't have to switch back and forth. There we go. So the Purgatory ride, I took this bike with this windscreen. I noticed there were some comments on the video that, how did the windscreen do? I thought it did fantastic. You could barely even tell it was there. You can't really see it, and it definitely gets the wind off your chest at higher speeds. It mounts really easily off of your headlight ears, and we will be taking pre-orders for this any minute now. We're almost there. It's going to be, all the parts are on order, so look for an email shortly. There it is from the back. Anyway, the bike I'm taking is a lovely machine, and I'm about to show you. There's the center stand. Here's this is the first 450 with skirted fenders, and this is the first Janus with skirted fenders in a contrasting color. So this is all new to us, and these have taken what we're doing to the next level. I really am just. Sometimes, you do this every day, and you see these beautiful bikes, and it's like, wow, this is really great. And then you see something like this, and you think, wow, we have not only an incredibly talented team, but we've been able to work together to create something that really makes me proud. And this machine really has blown me away. There's the front fender, but here it is. Really fantastic. So this is the Halcyon 450 with Duluth waxed canvas panniers. These are the panniers that we'll be launching with Duluth on the back, and our new windscreen, which unfortunately did not get wiped down for this photo shoot, but and including the leather windscreen skirt that finally came in. There's the front fender. So what you're seeing here is the main body of the fender is in the primary color, and then it has this beautiful panel that's assembled after it's been powder coated. We use tiny little screws to hold it together, and this has been done in a contrasting cream, and the pinstripe is on the side skirts in gold, and I'm so happy with it. Really, the way that the bead lines up between the side skirt and the rest of the fender, and the delicate little. It's not like a full ducktail like on the ducktail fenders, but just the delicate little flare at the bottom is really incredible. Look at this thing. Yeah, check out the details. I mean, yeah, these bikes are really coming along. They get better and better. There's the windscreen. So the windscreen, this is the same windscreen that was on the red bike before. So on number 46, Halcyon 450 number 46, this will also be available momentarily. I have, one second here. We have the skirt available in the matching leather, and then we also have it available in wax canvas. So this is a wax canvas version. There are some minor adjustments I want to make to the overall shape and styling, but this is 99% where it's going to be. I'm so pleased with it. I took it on about 40-mile ride on Friday last week, which I'll talk about briefly here if I have enough time, just drooling over these pictures, and I really enjoyed it. Here it is. We matched the cream sidewalls with the cream feather logo. This is gold pinstripe carried through. And the rear fender, too, is stunning. The sidewalls on that, just... I'm really looking forward to this. So there's a shot of the previous windscreen. This is smaller, but it's much, in my opinion, more fitting to the scale of the bike. It allows you to see the turn indicators without modifying them, which I think is very important. And it's a little taller than the other one, so better wind protection. And I think we'll refine the shape, make it a little more curved, less angled. But it's exactly what I was hoping for. Really, really pleased with it. And this is showing it with the black front panel. We have that front panel. On number 46, we had it with the polished stainless steel. So you're going to be able to get this in polished stainless steel or the black powder coat. Personally, I like the black powder coat more. I really like the way this looks. If you can't tell. There's the rear fender. And I will be running the Duluth bags. So I'm going to be documenting how the bags work, how the fender works, how the skirts work, how the fairing works. Just very excited about this trip and sharing it with you all via a nice vlog after the fact. So there we go. Here's the tool roll. This is the tool roll I'll be also trying out on this trip. So there it is all rolled up, and there it is rolled out. I think I've shown this to you. This is my attempt at a tool roll that holds everything for basic maintenance. You can handle just about anything, minus some really extreme specialty case tools in this tool roll. So you have your common sockets, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. You have the same in open end and boxed end wrenches. You have a large Nipex pliers, and the only reason I have this giant pliers in here is because the 450 does have a very high torque rear axle in a very large, it's a 32 millimeter nut on the end of it. So the production tool roll is actually a little bit taller to allow for this. So yeah, that's why that big old wrench is in there. It also has, your spark plug tool, all your Allen keys, feeler gauges, tappet adjustment tool, Allen keys, and needle nose pliers. I've got safety wire, electrical wire, spare fuses, a set of files, and a little caliper set. The basics for just about most things you're going to run into. I'm also running a separate tire change kit. So tire patches, pump, and spare tube. What else? And tire irons. So let's hope I don't have to use them, but if I do, I will document it for y'all's viewing pleasure. We're running a little behind. There's Woody loading up. Woody left this afternoon with the red bike is the Morgan bike. The blue fender in there is the Looney Tunes Roadrunner bike, and sitting behind him is the bike I'll be riding. I think, do I have a better picture of there's the Looney Tune. There's the Roadrunner bike. Beep, beep on the number plate. Turned out really well. Last of all is, I almost feel like I should leave this for another Ramblestream, but I'll cover it this time if y'all can stick around. I went out, there's a fella in South Bend who started something called the South Bend Watch Company, and he's, I wouldn't say he's reviving the South Bend Watch Company brand. He's starting a kind of project around it. His name is John, and I've actually included a link to this company in the YouTube video description, but he basically takes these South Bend watches and makes pocket watches, that is, and makes wrist watches out of them. And you could argue, I suppose, that that's kind of sacrilege. You're damaging these watches. However, these watches were not sold in a case. In the case that they're used to, the gold cases, they were sold just the movement and the dial. And that's what was made by the South Bend Watch Company. I didn't even know there was a watch company in South Bend. South Bend is 40 minutes away. And he gave me he has quite a bit of history on it. And basically the history is that this fella, it was called the Columbus Watch Company. It was based in Columbus, Ohio. And they were making a lot of watches. They had some quality issues. And he came to Elkhart to look for investment to try and take the brand to the next level. And he decided, hey, I want to go to the Oliver Hotel in South Bend and stay there. I've heard about it. So he did. And while he was there, I don't know how he was introduced, or he ran into one of the Studebaker brothers, and Clem, I think. And Clem said, hey, I'm interested in this. And so the Studebaker brothers, or family, were able to put together a consortium of South Bend business owners that raised $1 million. And I think this is in 1902 or 1903. I'm not sure which year. But they were able to raise $1 million, and they moved the Columbus Watch Company to South Bend, and they built a factory for them. And the quality issues that they had, this is to me so fascinating. The quality issues that they had, the Studebakers solved by lending the watch company their engineers from the Studebaker wagon company at that point to help them fix them. And they turned out to be very high quality watches. They were made for 30 years in South Bend with great success. They made, over 1 million watches in their period when they were running. They eventually were put out of business by, they were providing financing for their watches, and up until 1929. And in 1929, no one could pay them their loans on the watches, and so the company went bankrupt. But phenomenal watches, and this guy John just has his basement fully decked out with all the memorabilia. Look at this beautiful watch. This is one of the watches this is how it would have been sold at a jeweler, just the dial and the movement in this little tin. But he recases them here and makes them into watches, and I'll show you in a minute. Look at all the watches. These are all South Bend watches. It was really, really neat visiting and talking about this and learning about the history. Beautiful dials, all made in South Bend. I mean, it's an entire watch movement made in South Bend. We think about Switzerland being the place where watches are made. Incredible. I really liked that dial. Look at that. Art Deco kind of. Look at that one. It's talking to Art Deco. So here, this is a watch. This is a wristwatch. So this is a new case that's been machined. You can see the machining marks on it. I really liked this one. Of course, they're a little fatter than a normal wristwatch because it's a pocket watch movement. But he puts a strap on it, and you can see that the crown is at the 12 o'clock position up at the top, unlike where you'd expect it normally on a watch, with a display back showing this really handsome movement. And that's a South Bend watch. Here's another one. Pretty incredible. So I'd encourage you to check out his website. I've got a link there. Pretty neat. So anyway, that's where I rode on Friday. Took a test ride on the bike I'll be riding out to California. So it was a lot of fun. Got some test miles on it, and went and checked out a really interesting business in South Bend that he's starting making these watches. I encourage you all to check it out. South Bend Watch Company. Link in the video description below this video. Let's take a look at some comments and sign off here. Gonna be amazing, says Jeremy. Keith says, Arthur, I'll see you at the bingo ride. Dan says, remember, north of Santa Barbara, you drop the in highway names. The one becomes Highway 1. Oh, nice. See, I won't even get into it, but the thing annoys the pants off me, because then people from California come back here and they talk about, the 131. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not the 131. It's 31. Highway 31. I will work to not. Thank you, Dan. Well noted. Carl says Morgan/Janus. That's awesome. Yes. Semtech 557 says, good evening, everyone. Just a heads up. PCH is closed around Big Sur because it fell into the Pacific. I make a drive annually to Monterey from SoCal. Yes, I'm aware of that, and I'm going to be figuring out I think I'll come down from the north and just loop double back, because it's going to be so much fun. Chris Smith says, how do you like Rever? Rever this is Rever, this app I'm using to plan this ride. I like Rever. I've been using it for a number of years. Where I started using it, Chris, was for the owners rally, because you cannot use Google Maps to plan a circuitous route that goes off the highway. Google Maps just won't do it. It wants to, and then if you try and share, you try and drop pins on exactly where you want to go, you try and share it, it won't tell you the fun route. This allows you to highlight a very specific route. And of course, it has this wonderful terrain feature where you can see the terrain. It's also really great if you have a intercom, you can play turn-by-turn directions. Really handy. So I do like it. As far as technology goes, I don't have my roll chart holder yet working. Jeremy says one might be open in the next week or two with one way at a time traffic. Yeah, I'd read about that, but it seems like it's like 1 or 2 times a day and it changes. So I think I'm not going to risk it. I'll check as I get closer. Semtex says, I sure hope so. It's a great drive that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I do think it's going to be open this summer though. Bob says, you better allow time to ride the Black Hills. People come from all over the world to ride here. Yes, the folks at the Buffalo Chip have told us over and over again, don't book yourself the entire time you're in Sturgis, South Dakota. Leave time to ride because it's amazing. And I will be leaving time to ride, Bob. Don't worry. Maybe we can go on a ride together. That'd be a lot of fun. Carl says, there are some great rides in the Midwest, different terrains and elevations. Yes, thank you, Carl, for putting in a good word. There are. And I hope to take you on some of them on some of these rambles. Dave Dixon, cut across the back coast on Carmel Valley Road. Great winding road. Yes, that's what I'm planning on doing. That's how I'm going to get around it, is the Carmel Valley Road. And I think it looks, according to this map, absolutely, well, here it is over here. Absolutely stunning. And I've picked the windiest, smallest roads. Here it is, Carmel Valley Road right here. I'm really excited for that. Steve says, wow, Carl Mann's heart's stunning. Oh, you're talking about the bike. Yes. Love that style fender, said Arthur. Martin says, that's really something, Richard. Wow. Well, thank you all. I agree with you. Great looking. Gary Smith says, or Motion Pro T6 in 32 millimeters. Okay. Yes, that's Gary. So you're talking about Gary is talking about this right here. So the next version, Gary, you're on it. The next version of this is divided into 2 pockets where the pliers go. These two big pliers, and you can. I just sent my Motion Pro tire irons on the van, but you can get tire irons that have the axle nut size at the back. Unfortunately, they, as far as I'm aware, Gary, do not make a 32 millimeter. They make a 30. Is that right? Yeah. I can't remember if it's 30 or 32, but either one, it's not the right size. So either we have to change the nut size on the rear axle, or I need to have one specially made. But I'm leaving it open so that if we find a solution, this tool roll will work. Carl Mann says, can confirm Black Hills are spectacular. Martin Drew says, how about raised relief phoenixes, halcyons, and griffin clocks for Janus handlebars? I'm going to have to come work for you, Mr. Worsham, so I can buy a Janus. Nice. I am, let's just say I'm very interested in clocks and watches, and you all will be hearing more about that soon. But I do want it. It'd be neat to have some that were on a bike. I don't know how you could do an automatic on a bike just because of the vibrations. I would worry about it, but maybe. Tom says rain gear. I'm playing this one kind of fast, and I'm not bringing any rain gear. It looks like the weather's going to be all right, and it's only 2 days, and if I get wet, I get wet. Gary says they do now. Well, then I'm going to check that out, Gary. I just looked a couple of weeks ago. So fantastic. I will check. Thank you, Gary. Okay, it is now 8:09. I've gone way over time, and thank you all for joining the Ramblestream. As I said, there will be no Ramblestream next week, but there will be one the week following, and I'll recount my adventures then. So thank you all very much for joining, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time for the next Ramblestream. Thanks again. Bye-bye.